So a few months back, I went and saw the movie Tarot. Is that how it's pronounced?
Tarot.
I went and saw the movie Tarot by myself because I thought it might be terrible. I didn't know, and I went and saw it, and I quite enjoyed it. You know, it's a fun little throwaway, gimmicky PG-13 Blumhouse-esque horror film that a lot of people love to crap on, but I'm a fan of these types of movies, and so I thought it would be fun to show it to the family, since I had said in that review that this would be a good one to show to kids from maybe like 10 up, somewhere in that age range. And so I did so, and I also brought Kaylee into the mix, who this is her first time watching this as well, so we're going to get some fresh takes from them and from their age here. So that's going to be fun for all of us. So first things first, what did you think, Oliver?
I don't want to say it was good because I get yelled at whenever I say that.
Yelled at.
No, but it was good. Like, I liked it. Like,
Okay.
I liked it more.
She's losing her voice. She has a cough, so.
Yeah, don't wonder about it. But I liked it more than I thought it was. Because that's most of the time with movies, because I never trust you. I'm always like, no, it's going to be terrible. And then I like it more than I think I do. Because I'm just weird like that.
I've introduced you guys to the majority of the things that you love, but you still somehow don't trust me.
I know.
I trusted you. I was just ready to watch a movie.
I thought I was going to be scared more than I was. Like, I was really scared, but I thought I was going to be more scared.
It's hard to get scared when you're watching the whole movie like this.
I didn't watch it like that. I barely watched the whole movie.
It's the most I've ever watched of like a scary movie that you ever put on. Because I was just like, I'm not scared. I'm not scared.
Like, nothing compared to what I saw during the visit.
Oh my god.
Like, I saw like half that movie. Because the rest of it was just my fingers and listening. Like, I was so scared during that movie.
So The Visit from M. Night Shyamalan is the scariest movie you've seen?
By far.
By far?
That movie scared me so much.
I'm only scared during movies. But then after movies, I'm like, I'm not scared at all.
No,
like,
that's good.
I'll be like
after
scared the entire
so
time,
long.
and then the second that I'll end, I'll be like, I'm not scared. Why am I not scared?
What'd you think of this one, Elliot?
It was good. I liked it a lot. I liked it a lot more than I thought I was going to. It's not that I didn't trust you. Like, I was ready. I was like, well, anytime he ever puts on a movie, I usually have a lot better time than I thought I was going to have. Yeah. So I was just like, I'll just watch it, and I'll probably have a good time. And then I did. And I enjoyed it, and I was happy that I did, because I didn't want to just sit there and
watch something you hated?
Yeah.
Yeah. And Kaylee?
I also liked it and thought it was good.
Oh my god.
But I think that it has really cool like creature designs in it, and I really liked the like variety in the different monsters.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's fun. It's like it's a gimmicky movie.
Yeah.
But it was well done. I think the acting was good from everybody. The friend group had really good chemistry. They felt like real friends.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's an authenticity to them for sure. And I think one of the notes here, and something that you guys had pointed out that I hadn't really thought of when I had done my discussion on it, but typically with these kinds of films, there are classic archetypes, and we usually get characters that at least half or bare minimum one or two that are just completely unlikable and you're just wanting to watch die at some point in the film. And you don't really get that here. There's no one in this film that's really labeled as the jerk or, you know, the bully or any of those kinds of tropes, which I really liked, because I think what that adds to this movie is another level of tragedy that some of these other films don't have, because you're just kind of wanting the cast to thin out, as to where while we were watching this, I know with Oliver and Elliot specifically, they were not wanting anyone to die ever. No. You know, and if you think that they're like always like that, no. There's definitely plenty of things we watch where you're like, oh, just die already. You know, because they're just such terrible people. It's kind of like, how could I care about you? But with this one, it was like that. It was very much like everyone isn't innocent. Nobody does anything here to deserve what happens to them. And so you kind of just watch this whole thing going, oh God, I know that something bad's going to happen. I know these guys probably aren't going to get out of it, but you're like really rooting for them to get out of it. And when they don't, you're like bummed out about it. So I do think that is something that's a little more unique to this one than the typical average film like this. So you guys agree with that?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So we are going to get into spoiler discussions here. I took some notes, and if you haven't seen it, we recommend it for the family.
Spoiler. People die.
If you're somebody who hates on the Blumhouse movies like Truth or Dare or Countdown or something like that, I don't think Countdown was Truth or Dare. Was Blumhouse, but Truth or Dare absolutely was.
Yeah.
But anything like that, Bye Bye Man, those kinds of films, I like all those films. I think that they're fun, gimmicky movies that are gateway.
Yeah, they're entry-level horror movies.
Entry-level horror. And I'm very happy to have stuff like this to show my kids because their mother won't let me show them anything worse than this as of yet. So, all right, getting into the spoiler discussion here. One thing that I am typically a fan of when it's done well is these kind of match cut discussions between two opposing couples or two opposing friends that are saying something, and then the other one like either finishes the sentence or says the opposite thing, like maybe I'm too ambitious, and the other one's like he's not ambitious enough, that kind of stuff. This was probably made popular, or at least like for me, back in the 90s with the Austin Powers movies, when it keeps going to all the innuendos with the cuts to the next person, to the next person, to the next person. But I've always liked that editing style. I think it's a really funny and clever way to do expositional dialogue with characters. So I liked that in the opening, and it really gets us to know the different of the characters and why they're breaking up, our main two here. Who did you think was going to survive this, and were you right on it?
Yes.
Yes.
I expected the main girl and her boyfriend to like make it. I was like surprised, but also not, that like basically all of them died. But then as it was happening, it made sense. I didn't expect them, like, almost every single one of them to die, but then as it was happening, I was like, okay, that kind of makes sense.
Yeah. What about the friend Ned from Spider-Man? Were you surprised when he lived?
Well, it made sense after because we didn't see his death.
That's what I was saying.
Right? Like,
I was like,
it was just him and the, like, it just showed
how
the
did he
cloud.
die? Like, all of them were, like, shown very specifically how they died.
Yeah.
And, like, that guy was just like, he came up to him, and then it just flashed. So I was like, I don't think he's dead.
Like, I didn't think about it much. Like, I wasn't until they brought him back, and I was like, well, that makes sense because they didn't show his death.
Well, one of the rules with film that you'll always need to learn is that if you don't see them dead or die,
they're not dead.
They're not dead 95% of the time. So that's like one of the rules there. Kaylee, favorite character that you were rooting for the most, and did they live?
Favorite character?
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe what's his name? Ned? What was his real name?
I don't know what his name is.
It was
in this.
Paxton.
Paxton.
Is it? No, look at this. I
thought
need
he
her.
was-
I never remember anyone's names.
I
in
thought
these
he
movies.
either.
was really
I
funny.
just remember them screaming a lot.
Yeah. I don't know. I thought he was really funny. I felt like he offered really good like comedic relief. And I don't know. I really liked him. I think that he made it like his energy made it like more of like the friend group believable.
Here's a better question, and this is going to be for all of you. We're going to start with Kaylee and work our way down. What was your favorite look? What was her name? The
astrologer.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
The astronomer? No, yeah, the astrologer.
Yeah.
That she took on throughout.
I really liked the jester.
Okay.
The Fool. I liked that one a lot. That's probably my favorite because I just really enjoyed all of the faces that it was making, and like when it was chasing him, like bending like in a like 360, and then it would like jump and cut when he was in the elevator. All of that was really cool. And
you?
Yeah.
Me? I don't know. I agree. The gesture and the actual, like, her actual look, like, but not her, but when she's dead. Like, when she's kind of, like, really old and, like, she has the cuts on her face. And she's, like, like, in the house. I thought that was cool and scary. She kind of reminded me of, like, a witch. Like, like a witch, like, years and years after.
That's basically what she is, right?
Yeah, she is.
Basically a witch movie. What about you?
I liked, I can't think. I liked The Magician.
I did too.
Because
I was gonna say that
he
as
was
a follow up.
Yeah.
He was really
favorite.
creepy, and we didn't see him much, but he was like, I really liked the aesthetic of like that area because it was like super, all the people in the crowd.
They were creepy.
Very
They were
insidious.
really-
Yes, that's what I was
Really
thinking.
creepy, and I liked the gesture too because I just liked like the ominous of like him being out. And,
If you guys like this
open.
movie, then Insidious would definitely be something to look forward
Yeah.
to in the future, because
Yeah.
that
It
scene
has
is
that
very
vibe.
insidious.
Yeah,
insidious.
of the magician and those people on stage.
Yeah, I really
good.
liked the crowd.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know
Yeah.
what those people are, if they're like ghosts or what,
They
like
look
why
like
they're.
dolls almost. Like,
Yeah.
Like
Those
almost
could
like
be the
little
people
puppets.
that she killed.
That
with
she's
the
killed in the
cars.
past.
That's what I was thinking, but then it looked like
They all seem
looked,
old.
old, yeah.
Yeah,
that's
but
what I
that
was about
happened
to
so
say.
long ago. Right?
I mean, yeah, it could have been all the people whose fortunes were read with those cards over the years, and a lot of them are just older. That makes sense. I mean, it's possible. We don't
It's
get any
possible.
explanation for
It
that.
could also just be like
people she's created.
people she's created
head.
in her head.
So, one thing that I was thinking about during this, and I found to be kind of far-fetched. So, when they do kind of all come to the conclusion, outside of the boyfriend, who's the skeptic like myself, but most of everyone else is like in on like, wait, this is weird, you know, buying into the conspiracy of that this is something supernatural. She then, of course, conveniently goes on her phone. The first website that they find basically leads her straight to a woman who's like, I survived this. I'm the only survivor.
Yeah.
And here's how you can do it, and here's all the backstory and all. It's definitely one of the most streamlined, convenient things that I've watched. But this is nothing new for these types of movies.
for
And
sure.
it's just, as I said, it just streamlines things. You know they're gonna find it. It's like, why even bother wasting time? But the fact that it's like legit, like, because I think they do find one website and then they're like, there's another website, so maybe two websites. But regardless, putting all that aside, the thing that really kind of made me go, this is kind of silly to me, and I don't really have an explanation for this. We don't really get any indication that they ever think about the people who own the house and why they would have that deck in their basement that has like a keep out sign in it. The fact that they never think to contact them, the fact that they just go to that house after days being gone and just like come right on in like it's not somebody's house, like it's very odd to me that at no point is it ever acknowledged of who those people are, why they have it,
Yeah.
that they never even think to like call them, like, you rented this place. Contact them and be like, where the hell did you get this deck? What is this deck? Why do you have it? My friends are dying.
Yeah.
The fact that they never call, that they never even think
Yeah.
about it, is bizarre to me. And then they just show up there like it's their home or something now all of a sudden, when it's like, that's an Airbnb. There might be other guests there that night. You know what I mean? It's just very convenient.
She
said-
booked it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, she books
She
it?
books it, but
Well, whichever.
the scene
Oh,
that you were
yes.
talking
Okay.
about with the like
That
when
answers
they
that at least.
are Googling and they only find like, I like that scene though because they're all like crowded around the computer like, oh my god, like look at this, and then the
Yeah.
boyfriend is in the background being like she was discredited by
yeah.
like the community and all that, and I thought that was really like, I don't know, it was just funny and like lighthearted. But I think, I mean, yeah, they should have addressed like who owns the house and everything, but they do mention like how there's a bunch, like, you know, all those objects down there all look really old.
Yeah.
So it would be cool if there's plans for more movies with like other objects down there, like
Or
other haunted
Annabelle.
ones. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is kind of what I thought they were gonna go with.
Yeah, I mean, it feels like some kind of, oddity, curio type of shop almost, but some underground thing that these people have, like the Warrens' room of haunted objects in the Conjuring movies that, of course, we see in full display in Annabelle Comes Home. Mm-hmm. But it's just the fact they never look them up. The fact that they never try to contact the people who possess those. That they're going to go to some random woman on the internet instead of contacting the people who actually own the place and would have had those cards. It just, that to me is too much of something, like a suspension of disbelief that I cannot for the life of me figure out. Because wouldn't you think, like, we got to call these people? What the hell? You got my family or my friend's curse?
Yeah. I mean...
What do you guys think?
Well, back to the websites thing. She does say this is the only website that addresses an address.
That's true.
So she did look through.
I get that. I mean, she looked at what? 2 websites and she's like, this is the only one that has an address?
Maybe not many came up.
Yeah, I mean,
maybe she
if
just,
you ever
like,
type something
quickly
into Google, there's always 6 trillion matches.
True.
It doesn't matter. As I said, it's all streamlined, but it's odd to me that they never mention one time who the people are who own this place, why they have all that stuff.
For sure.
Anyway, moving on from that. Okay. So, Kaylee is what?
I didn't even say anything there. I have an interest in tarot.
You have an interest. You know more about it than me. That's for sure.
sure.
You've studied it to some degree. I've studied it none because I think it's pure nonsense.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely, I don't know, the tarot stuff in this is very basic. It's literally just the cards.
But,
it's not really anything about...
What I really liked about this is that, this is something I discuss on the channel all the time because tarot cards come up in horror all the time. It's Ouija boards, tarot, it's always these things. And the trope is that you get the 3 cards, it's like the past, present, future type of thing, and then they flip them over, and one is always death, and they always have to be like, death doesn't always mean death, sometimes it can mean the rebirth or whatever. Like, they always have to do this in horror, and it's always the 3 cards. In this one, they do, like, all of the astrological, like, houses around the 12 cards, and then the one in the middle, so you have 13 cards. It was just nice to see a different version of tarot for once.
Yeah.
And the way that she read them, yes, it's very on the nose that she's like, it's going to be water under a bridge, and then they're literally on a bridge with water.
Yeah.
That's all fine and well. It's that she's almost like being, like it was being whispered to her because she read it too specifically.
Yeah, well, I think the astrologer is like influencing her.
But at no point does it give it any indication that she's like getting like a whispering in her ear. But I guess that would probably make her go like, no, we shouldn't be doing this, right?
I mean, yeah, she tries not to do it multiple times.
Well, sure, the first girl is like, it's my birthday, you have to do it. And she's like the biggest one at fault here. Although you shouldn't go into an unmarked room that says like, keep out. No. Not an unmarked room, but a marked room that says, locked room. That says literally like,
the only thing that I was
like, what sign?
Looking for booze.
Yeah, that they don't seem like drunk at all, and they have like a trash can full
I have some,
of beer bottles.
They drank every bit of booze that they brought. They show the trash can; it is filled to the brim, and not one of them even seems slightly buzzed.
Maybe they forgot a lot.
The thing that I was going to say that I definitely don't know as much. I don't know, like, I'm not an expert on any of it, but, like, some of the stuff she was saying, like, about the zodiac signs, like, the astrological stuff sounded a little weird to me. But, again, I don't claim to be an expert on it, but, like, she was saying that Capricorns are rule breakers, and I've never heard that before. Like, I'm a Capricorn, and Capricorns are, if anything, rule followers is always what I've heard. Like, they're very down to earth and, like, do things by the book kind of a thing.
Yeah.
Because they're an earth sign.
Are you sure Elliot's not a Capricorn?
And she also said they were sensitive. I don't know. It's just something I've never heard before. But, and then I also couldn't really tell, again, I don't know if you know this without having more information, but like, usually like when you get an astrology reading, you have to give like your like time of birth and like the location.
Yeah.
Because that shows where like everything is and like all the houses that they were talking about in the chart. So I don't know if I guess you must be able to know what is in what house without having all that information, but just knowing like only their zodiac sign. She was like talking about like this, rules this house, which is what controls like your love life or whatever. And I don't know. I always thought that you needed more information for that.
She's these are all her best friends. She knows a ton about them. So these aren't just random
maybe she just
people.
has them like memorized.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't know what time my friends were born.
Did say that she was like super obsessed.
I don't even know what time.
I know you can do like chart readings without the time of birth, but you do need the location.
Wasn't it like 10 p.m., 10 something, 10:04?
10:34, 10:35, I think. Or is it 10:53, 10:54?
That sounds about right.
Yeah.
I think it's
10 something. I knew that.
No personal information. I'm kidding.
It's 10:50.
Now you can read their sign. Their
Please don't.
horoscope.
I don't want to get cursed.
Do you think that this is the type of movie that tarot readers are like up in arms, angry over, that these kinds of movies get made? Kind of like clowns are always so pissed when they make like a Pennywise film or any evil clown movie. They're like, we got enough problems. Everyone hates us already. You think the tarot community is like, oh, great, another movie that we're evil?
I mean, I'm sure there probably are. But, like, we were talking about before the movie, I feel like this is very much, the deck itself is haunted. It's not like that tarot is bad. And I feel like also the ending is very much like the cards don't rule your fate. Like, she's all about fate and everything, but then they end it by being like, no, we make our own fates.
Girls.
Which, to be honest, I think is also, I don't know. I mean, she does read, like, the cards to an extent, so, like, it kind of does happen the way she says it's going to happen.
Yeah, but they're haunted. I mean, I think that they're cursed as soon as they read it. It's kind of like it seals their fate in death.
Yeah.
Right? Girls.
Yes. Yar.
For context here with what we're talking about, from your perspective, would you, after having seen this movie, go directly to a tarot card reader and get your horoscope read?
God, no. God,
So there you go. What about you?
Well, not like...
Just for, like, to add to the fun of the movie, you go and get your tarot read?
I don't want to die.
It would be funnier to have done it before, and then you sit through the movie like, oh no, I should have waited.
I have like 5 or 6 tarot decks in our bedroom.
I know.
Maybe more. I used to have more. I used to have a lot.
You guys have one. I buy you a Stranger Things
Yeah.
one.
Albert.
You guys did a reading for people at our wedding.
I did.
Yeah.
And they all died. No, just kidding.
I'm kidding. It depends.
Depends?
It depends. Now, if those cards were like that, I run.
No, I would literally throw those cards in the fire.
So if she pulled out those cards specifically, you'd just be like,
They should make a, I mean, it's
This
probably
tarot
not
deck?
as popular of a movie, but yeah, that would be really cool if they released, like, this artwork, because the artist, I don't know if he designed the monsters as well, but I know that he did the art on the tarot cards, which I was telling you, I think Trevor Henderson is his name, or Henderson, on Instagram. He also apparently is the guy that invented the Siren Head monster that you might have seen online. He's got a really cool Instagram page. He makes really, really cool, like, creepy art. Anyway, but yeah, he should think about releasing the tarot deck then, if not.
If you buy it and you find it in a fire, I am so sorry.
I mean, if this movie was popular, like more popular, it would definitely have gotten made.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no doubt about it. If it broke like, 50 to 100 million at the box office. I don't know what this did financially, but I don't think that it deserved the hate train that it got. In fact, I would definitely bet money that half the hate this film got came from people who didn't even see the thing.
Oh, probably.
Which is always the most annoying thing.
This
ever.
wasn't anything like Imaginary or anything like
this
that.
This is much better than that
yeah.
garbage. And all right, let me look at my notes really quick, see what we got here.
Another thing I really like was the guy that kills the first girl.
Oh, the High Priestess?
Yeah, I really liked his design. He was really cool.
There was no design I didn't like. I didn't even say which one was my favorite.
Oh, yeah. What was your favorite?
You know, I'm with you guys. Like, I think I'm trying to think of the Hangman is very like basic.
Yeah.
So there's not really much to report there. The devil, we don't get to see as much as I would have liked.
Yeah,
we get a little bit of it.
We saw it a few times because we saw him when he like ran in and grabbed.
Yeah, when he pulls
and then he's like crawling around the room.
I got a text when that happened, so I didn't see it.
Death also looks like the Hangman, just kind of like a skull kind of thing.
I thought Death was cool.
I feel like we.
What did it look like again? I don't.
It was just like a really tall,
big skeleton.
with like
but its face
round,
was all messed up.
Like head was all messed up.
I'd have to.
It was like the one on the card, basically.
I'd have to look at them all again, but just off of memory, I liked the way that. What's the train one look like?
It's just
the
hermit.
The hermit with
that one was cool.
I love the way that one plays out, just because of the the light and how it comes out at him. What did she say?
Terrified me.
She said that the hill light will lead you like on the wrong tracks or something.
No, they say something specific about the light and how it like goes out. I can't remember what the phrasing was, but I really liked that shot of it, like the darkness coming at him.
That was really freaky. I was going to mention that. Like, it was really scary.
So that was very cool. But the stalking scenes of the fool, the jester,
that
is the best. Because like when he turns his body and completely goes all the way around, and then when he attacks him in the elevator and his face keeps moving and then when he comes out the doors and he's just there, and it closes.
So freaky.
That was great. That was really cool. I really like that, and that's what I really love about this film. Like those are the things I love, is the horror scenes.
Yeah,
you know, and this is a horror movie, so therefore I'm going to enjoy it because I'm there for the horror first and foremost. And unfortunately, a lot of movies we watch recently, we've talked about how we like a lot of the stuff, we just don't like the horror.
Yeah.
And it's like, this is kind of not the opposite, because I like the other stuff. It's fine.
It's fine, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It just kind of gets you from one scene to the next, and you're like, these people are cool. I like them okay. Like, I hope they don't die. But it's really the horror that makes it entertaining. But yeah, I think we can mostly agree that the jester was up there in creepiness. This is based on a book called Horror Scope. Horror Scope.
It's cute, yeah.
And that book is like really hard to find, which is kind of odd. That's a weird choice for something to adapt. You would think that it would be something that was popular and something that you could. It's from like the early '90s.
Oh.
So, and it's like a YA novel.
Oh.
So I'd like to get my hands on it to see how different it is from this.
Too.
But yeah, and I'd say the ladder kill's the most brutal.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know, being sawed in half, that was the worst. Because the way that he cranks it, that's my favorite scene, is when she's in the box and she's like trying to duck it, kind of like Demon in Friday 5, where she's, it's all coming through from different sides, and then he cranks the box, which makes it like, the floor come up and presses her up against it so she can't move. That was great. That was such an inventive way to like make it impossible for her to escape, and then for him to cut her in half. And then of course it's PG-13, so they have to be like clever on how they edit the horror so that it doesn't show anything too graphic. So like putting the camera inside the box with her half, and then like pushing it out to that creepy audience and showing like that her halves are disconnected, because we only see her from here out, but you don't see it from here in because of the gore. I thought that was a really smart, clever way to do it, to keep it PG-13, but also kind of aesthetically work with the film and show the crowd and be creepy.
That was definitely like really scary. I feel like when I feel like we don't see the hangman enough because it's like
it's
you see
really
like the
quick.
hands and then all you see is it running, and then you see it like on top of her like really quickly, and then like so it feels like the whole time you're focusing on her. So you barely are focusing on the monster. You're focusing on her, like, oh my god, it's around her neck. All right, she's dead. So and then it's just gone, and so you don't see it.
Don't you feel it's like annoying of her? And I get it. Fight or flight kicks in, and you run. But it's like she's literally watching a video. She's the only one that has like hers recorded.
Yeah.
And she's playing it right in the moment. And it's like technology will fail you, and you're inclined to run. Don't listen to that. Don't run. And then a thing comes up on the window, does the hangman with the letters, which I thought was really cool, and it says run, which is like literally telling you what to do, and your friend who's been right about everything else is like, don't run.
Yeah.
And then she runs.
Yeah.
You're like, what are you doing?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And then the guy who like leaves, like the guy that doesn't die, he like leaves. I feel like that's really dumb because all of them have died at nighttime walking home alone.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's really dumb because they're like saying like he's gonna make a rash move and that's gonna get him killed.
Yeah.
When he's literally like, and when they stick together, they're not gonna die. But when they split up, they get killed.
Yeah.
So I think the way that they could have handled, I'll take your word for it and say it's Paxton. The way they could have handled Paxton's reveal better to me, because they said his character was going to come through for his friends in an unexpected way, and then you kind of forget about it, and I didn't in the theater. I was like, oh, he's going to come back later, he's not dead, whatever. But if you did fall for that, like some people would,
I didn't.
No?
No.
Well, anyway, the way that would have worked out better, in my opinion, is if one of them was really injured and they, their car got screwed up, right, so that they couldn't come back. And then they were walking down the road and it was like their phones didn't work because they were like destroyed and everything. And then it's like, oh my God, like I'm bleeding out. I'm not going to make it back. And then he pulls up and is able to like, he either brings an ambulance or the police or is able to get them in the car and drive them to the hospital because like without him, they're screwed. But for him to just kind of pull up to get him out of there, it kind of reminded me of Get Out a little bit in the ending of that.
Yeah.
But it just felt like it was a little anticlimactic because they didn't need him. It was like, it was just more of an inconvenience.
Yeah.
It's like how many more, how much longer, how many more miles is it? It's like, oh, it's like quite a few miles. And it's like, well, that's an inconvenience.
Yeah.
But it's not going to kill them. So he doesn't need to show up there is my point.
Yeah.
It really kind of takes an impact out of just like outside of, oh, good, he got to live. Him showing up for his friends in an unexpected way. It is unexpected because it's kind of like, you didn't do anything for us.
Yeah.
We're not benefiting from this except for like, you're going to save us having sorer feet in the morning.
Right.
You know what I mean? So like, if one of them was really like mortally injured and he came through in an unexpected way and saved them because he's the one who drove back up, then it would have at least added to it. Because he doesn't have to come in and save them from the monster. Doesn't have to be
No.
that intense.
I like what you're saying.
But just
they were
have a
injured
reason for him to come. Because him just picking him up, it's like a random cabbie could have done that. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't add anything to it. He's not... Anyway, I'm going on a rant on that. But I just feel like that's a missed opportunity with that. It's so simple. Just one of them gets stabbed or something and now is bleeding, and it's like, how are we going to get out of this? My phone doesn't work, and then he pulls up and he has a phone.
And that
or
would work
whatever.
for the sacrificing. Like if the guy was...
Sure, because he said he was going to sacrifice, which he does do when he's being pulled into hell, which was scary. It's like being pulled in by these creatures into the
But
fire.
he's not even like... How did he even get out?
Who knows?
Like,
She died.
it's just
She
because
was being
died.
pulled
She
away.
died?
So she couldn't be there with him and at the same time.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
he's
exactly.
pulled through, so like you would think
He's
that he would
pulled
just be stuck,
through.
but I guess
Yeah,
not.
and she's not even dead yet. Like, she's still, like... She's just... There's, like, the ring is starting around her. Like, she's still alive. Right? Because even though Oliver's like, oh, because she can't be there, like, twice at once.
I think she's cursed is the
still,
problem.
like...
So her powers are diminished because of the curse on her now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's surprising that they don't just like kill him. They're just like dragging him in, like how they're just gonna like burn him, like that's how he's supposed to die.
Yeah.
He's gonna be burned. And then I forgot what I was gonna say. I was gonna say something, but I don't
Well,
remember.
the last thing I was going to mention here is her flipping the curse. I actually really like this. I think this is a smart way to handle this on how you get out of this.
I agree.
Because it isn't something that many people would think of. But she was just smart enough in the moment to think like, you know what? Why don't I read this chick's horoscope? Which I thought was cool. Mm-hmm. And when she does it, it curses her. Now, I'm not exactly sure how that works because like it's her curse and she's the one who comes to kill and she's not killing herself. So what came for her? I don't know.
Maybe it like canceled each other out.
If it canceled it out, it would just kind of like break the spell. But I guess it could have just broken the spell and then she just aged to, you know, and crumbled to
Well, she
nothing.
killed herself.
Yeah,
So she's already gone.
dead.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So it's like, that's why I'm saying if you lift the curse, then she just kind of turns to bone because it's like she's already dead.
Yeah.
As opposed to like something came for her. It was like a curse on her. Which it may make sense. It's just whatever entity granted her that power, the devil or whatever, is coming back for it. It's like you've had your reign. But now does that make her the astrologer
I know.
here, right?
I was wondering kind of if
Yes.
she was going to have her powers.
And then, okay.
Don't piss her off.
The girl, she's just hallucinating, right? Like the page, the girl who gets cut in half. Because that, like, showroom isn't in their house. So is he actually, like, is there actually, like, a showroom?
I think he's taking her
where
to
he's,
like an alternate dimension. Like
Yeah, it's
where
like magic.
So is
that
her
dude's-
body not there?
Yeah, I don't know where, like, because everyone else's bodies are recovered, I'm assuming. The hangman just pulls her up into the rafters. I'm sure her body's probably up there.
Well, her body's just hanging.
Yeah, so
there.
the people that own the Airbnb are either going to come back to
That's
a
what I
dead
was
body
thinking.
or nothing.
Well,
The
definitely
girl.
the
Well,
grandma.
screw them.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
The girl with the
other-
swords.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sally.
So Sally Hardison, who's like in every... That's not a real name, but that's what she plays in the Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2022 Netflix movie. She's here. She's the know-it-all that explains everything. The exposition dump character. I don't know. What do you guys think she provides to the movie by showing up? So one thing I don't really understand that I was trying to figure out here is why she doesn't come with them when they just call her to come anyway. Like after. It's kind of like once everyone's attacked, it's like, well, okay, let's call her. It's like she wanted to destroy this deck. This is her whole thing. They know where it's at. Don't you think she'd be like, show me where it is? And that she wouldn't just be like, let's
Well,
take it?
I mean, she tells them, like, to go destroy it, to go burn it.
I get that, but then
So, they probably should have just brought her with.
one call and she's like,
But-
okay, I'm on my way. It's just like, save her some gas.
Yeah.
And what happened to their cars? Why couldn't they drive?
Because Paige rented the car.
What's up?
No, that's Paige's car.
Well, yeah, Paige. It's her car.
Oh,
and
so they don't have, like, the keys. So she must not be there, then. Paige's
Oh.
body must not
They
be
must
there.
not
But then
wanted
how
to
did
go
Sally
to
get
her.
there? She had to get there in a different car. She Ubered.
Oh, yeah.
Her car
I
wasn't
don't know.
there.
Maybe she didn't take
That's
the
a good
car.
point.
Maybe they didn't want to grab the keys from her body.
No, come on.
Yeah, I don't know. That's a good point, though. I don't know why they don't take cars. I don't remember if there's any other explanation given.
Yeah, they're just like, we're gonna walk. Yeah, I don't know, and I don't know what she like. She comes and she really doesn't do anything.
No, when she gets there,
She just summons her.
She summons her.
She thinks that she's going to be able to talk to her, and all she does is just kill her.
That's what it is.
I guess yeah, she gives her the ability to summon her so that they can. I mean, would that have made any difference? Could she have just still read her tarot, or did she have to summon her for her to
She
read her
had
tarot?
to be
I
there.
guess she'd have to be there.
Yeah.
Okay,
But
that works.
she didn't. But she didn't know her Does she know her? Like, did she just?
Does
read
she
the
know her
cards?
birthday?
Or does she need to know what sign?
We don't
she
know.
is?
We talked about
don't
that.
know.
How
Yeah.
much does she need to know about her? I have no idea. I think that she could probably have learned a good amount about her from that chick. She could have given her that information. very easily. I'm sure she knows everything about that woman. So she could have been like she was a Capricorn or whatever the hell. And that seems to be all she needs to know.
Yeah.
Is what her sign is.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I think it's all fine. There's questions for sure, but I think they need to demand a refund from this Airbnb.
Yeah. I think so too.
I think they owe them.
They're like, you booked twice. Why do you want a refund? Because my friends died. What do you mean?
Yeah. They're like, well, we're going to call it even since we have to clean up the bodies and the damage.
Yeah, seriously.
Seriously, though. What is this sorcery drawn on my floor? Oh, it's nothing.
Yeah.
Couldn't they have done that outside?
So, pro tip, if you are going up against the astrologer or any demon and you come up with a plan and you know that they are a supernatural entity that could be anywhere at any time, maybe, just maybe, don't announce your plan out loud.
And don't get it in a box.
Just a good idea.
Yeah.
Don't get it in a box.
Yeah, just a good idea. You know,
Don't announce out loud.
If you ever get cursed for some reason, don't just be like, I need to curse her by reading her chart. It's like death. Yeah. Immediately she would just kill her like, oh no, that could actually work. So that was funny.
Yeah, for sure.
And
Don't do anything stupid.
Just tell her, she should have just been like, I have an idea. And then gone, dragged him.
I also liked what they did with the character here, our main character, the girl. I thought there was some good character development with her backstory of her mother, how she kept reading her cards and it came true, and how she reads her cards and they always stay the same, and that she's very tied to fate.
Yeah.
And she's very like upset about it, and she wears her mother's hospital bracelet as like a reminder that you can't escape fate. And then they use the one F word. What's the F word again, girls? No. In the end of this with fate. Which I thought was cool. I liked her arc as being the believer and like you can't change fate to she kind of uses fate as her weapon. It's her ally for once as opposed to her enemy, which is what she started with. And then, it also says love will be the death of me. That's what her cards read.
Yeah.
That doesn't really play into this, I guess. I don't know. Do you think that plays into this?
Well, like, I guess her love for her friends. Could that?
Yeah, could definitely be that. But I don't know. I mean, they're having like a romantic moment when he gets pulled away by the devil, and then it comes back in and turns into death. So
her,
it's not
her death, if it would have went through, would have been because she was there with her love.
Yeah, or
Maybe
like they were just vulnerable in that moment.
Maybe they would have died together.
Maybe.
Yeah. Okay. So that's that. Anything more to say, ladies?
It was good.
Yeah. Very funny. All right, so that is Tarot.
Tarot.
It will be on Netflix on Thursday, August the 1st, so you can check it out there, and you can let us know in the comments what your favorite look of the demon was, and that's that. So
Watch it.
yeah, let us know. We'll see you in the comments.